Who else remembers the LEGO Chima Ultrabuild sets? I mean, these sets were honestly really cool. Today, let's take a closer look at Eris. We'll discuss why this set is surprisingly awesome, and how you could use the pieces that come in this set to build your own cool Bionicle creations. And we'll even take a deeper look at some revamps of this set. Let's get started. Yo, this was a pretty strange chapter in the history of LEGO constructible action figures. Yeah, you remember Chima, right? Anthropomorphic characters mixed in with essentially Game of Thrones, and they're fighting in giant animal machines. It was actually a pretty cool independent LEGO theme. And the theme had a cool sub-theme of these Ultrabuild construction figures. So here's Eris the Eagle. This set has some pretty good features. This axe in particular is pretty cool. I really like these blue weapon elements. The Chima Ultrabuild sets, they actually gave us a lot of fantastic weapon pieces. Now here's a couple MOCs that use this pretty cool piece. We can see that Dylan Meaves here has used this piece in red for a tiny little demon with demon wings. How cute is that? Such an effective way to build wings at such a small scale like this. And hey, this same wing design would look great in blue. Maybe you could have like an angel counterpart to this devil MOC. Another creation, this time built by Onigek 9000, it uses the same pieces for a pretty similar weapon. However, this weapon angles those blades at a different angle and adds heaps of CCBS armor shells and different things to make it look a bit bigger and more menacing. So yeah, this is a really helpful weapon piece. It's not all that common though, it really just came in these Chima Ultrabuild sets. But you can get some on Bricklink right now for under $1, so at least they're still affordable and relatively easy to get. I also like that they added some of these bushing pieces onto this weapon. They didn't need to add these here, but they did, and it looks fantastic. It's a very simple but quite effective way to make the weapon look so much more elegant. The arm design on Eris is rather simple, but it does give us some of these cool white CCBS armor shells. You actually get 6 of them in this set, a rather nice supply of these pieces. So here's some MOCs that use some of these small CCBS shells. Patron here uses them in black to create this phenomenal curved back design. When you place minifigure swords on top in the holes of these CCBS shells, it really mimics the shape, the feeling, and the overall look of a Rahkshi. And it's great that you get 6 of them in white in this one set. Or perhaps you could do what Patron did here on another MOC that he made, and this is wonderful. The attire of this MOC, it reminds me of a sophisticated lady wearing a fancy fur coat with fur lining on the collar. And when we zoom in a little bit up top here, we can see that the white collar of this coat, it uses some of these smaller CCBS shells. There's also a couple of these larger shells being used here, but guess what? Eris also comes with these larger shells as well. So heck yeah man, you could easily give your next MOC a fancy fur collar coat. Additionally, you get 4 of these trans dark blue, smaller CCBS shells. This MOC by Paul X MOC Building, it revamps the wonderful breakout set Stringer. Now originally the set has this cool trans dark blue torso piece, but none of the other pieces on that set come in that color, so it feels a little bit out of place. But hey, like we can see on this MOC by Paul X, he's added in a lot more trans dark blue, and now that torso feels a little bit less out of place, and this color scheme looks awesome. So if you have Stringer and you have Eris, maybe you can combine their pieces and make a beautiful MOC like this. Moving up to the wings, this design is, well, it's okay. I remember when this set first came out, I was not a fan of this wing design, and I'm still not, to be honest. But hey, at least with the way that it's built, you can pose these wings very well, and you can put Eris in all kinds of cool looking positions. But yeah, the fact that it's only 3 feathers and they're spread really far apart, it is a bit odd. Maybe you could do a much cooler wing design using some of these feather elements that come in this set. Something close to what Jafer has done here on his MOC Taito. You might need to do a Bricklink order to get a few more feather pieces, but still you get a nice helping in this set. As we can see here, these feathers are built around these Exoforce robot arm pieces, and they're attached onto a big piece of flex tube. And the results are simply stunning. This looks so realistic and so angelic as well. Imagine if this wing design was put onto this Eris figure, it would look incredible. Now the wings and the other body parts here, they're made up with lots of these dark bluish grey CCBS limb pieces. You actually get 10 of them in this set, which is very nice. Eclipse Caller has a MOC called Amagra, and it uses plenty of these limb pieces to build this creepy leg design. Eclipse Caller loves to build all sorts of creepy, eldritch horror creatures like this, and this leg design in the context of these creepy eyes and spikes all over the back, it works. The legs look like skeletal bones now. Everything is horrifying. And yet getting 10 of this piece in Eris, well, you're one step closer to making a MOC that looks a little bit like this. Eris comes with this printed torso piece in blue. The gold details here, they're kind of cool. I couldn't find any MOCs that use this like specific printed piece, but other Chima Ultrabuild sets, they come with pretty similar printed torso pieces. And this MOC by Joxon, it uses one of those pieces. Now I like how the gold details of this MOC are really just localized on the torso. There's that piece there on the crotch, and that's kind of it. But then we've got the gold printing that's up here on the top of the chest. And that helps even out the gold colors a little bit all throughout this MOC. Plus what's nice about this piece, the gold is printed onto a gunmetal piece, and other parts of the body are also gunmetal. So that way it ties together a little bit nicer. If this whole piece was gold, it might be a little bit too much. But doing it this way, it works well. So you could easily do the same thing, but instead on a blue MOC that needs a couple gold highlights on top. Eris's lower legs, I think they're cool. Now I like that there's less armor here, so that way the black CCBS bone pieces, they mimic the look of a real bird with their legs and talons. It's a rather nice way to keep things somewhat accurate to an actual eagle. Now these two black claw feet pieces. Of course you could use these for feet on your own MOC, or you could do what a set like Von Nebula does and use them for hands, but why not use them in a different way, like Eclipse Caller has done here on this unnamed Eldritch Horror. Wrapping them around the edges of the face design with this big creepy eye on it, it looks like wild hair or lots of spikes sticking out. It fits perfectly with this horrific monster. It's right in line with Eclipse Caller's style of building. Yeah, great use of that piece. Now Eris also has a rather unique headpiece. I mean, it very much does look like a bird. I kinda like it. Now let's see how many people have used it in a MOC. Nobu Terry uses it here for a MOC called Eris Fighter. Now I love seeing this piece used on a MOC with a totally different color scheme to the original set. The red up against the white, I think that works very nicely. And hey, why not get all the different Chima Ultrabuild headpieces and place them onto your other creations? You know, that way you could have a cool bird warrior or a crocodile bounty hunter. There's all sorts of sick possibilities there. IGU also uses this headpiece on his huge pirate MOC. Of course, this colossal pirate needs a parrot on his shoulder. It's the perfect addition, isn't it? So here's that parrot up close. There's something very cute about this little guy, isn't there? So yeah man, you could either build a large scale character with that head, or you could make it a little tiny bird. It's great to see how versatile this piece can really be. So there you go man, that's Eris, and that's how you could use the pieces that come in this set for your own creations. But what about revamping this character? Well, here's a MOC by Dylan Meaves that uses very few pieces that came on the original set, but still manages to capture the essence of the original character, and captures it very, very well. I like that they added in these Tarex blades on her staff. It's sick. The colors, I think they suit her very well, and it's a good substitute for that other interesting weapon piece that we were seeing before. This brick-built head design, by the way, that's very good. Something about it just feels and looks so much better than that official pre-molded headpiece. And that's always going to be the case when you build something out of bricks like this. You're going to be able to really customize it perfectly for the exact needs of your MOC. The sizing, the proportions, it's all going to be just right for what you need. This leg design's also taking the rough idea that we saw on the original set, but making it look a lot better and a lot more chicken-like. And I do like this wing design too, using these white helicopter blades. That's great. This is another awesome way to make feathered wings that maybe costs a little bit less money and means you have to buy a few less feather pieces like we saw before on Jafer's wing design. Yeah, this MOC is just extraordinary. Now Shadow Gear 6335 also has a MOC called Eris, although this actually has nothing to do with Chima. This is just his own independent character that shares the same name. But it is great to see another approach to making a custom head design for a bird-like character. And it's also lovely to see how Shadow Gear has built these wings, and the fact that the wings are on her hands instead of coming out of her back. That's a very nice touch. And all those like posable feathers, they look great. Awesome idea to use those large brown Invasion from Below spike pieces. Not a piece that I would have expected to work as well for feathers, but it does. Yeah, I really like this. Another great bird MOC. And finally, because it just makes sense, here's an all-American eagle by Sergei Rahkmaninoff. I mean, hey, Eris has lots of eagle parts. If you want to turn it into a cool, alternate, all-American character, yeah, why not? You could build something like these cool brick-built wings and make them red and white and add the blue elsewhere. You could even build a cool stand for them to rest on so that they can pose and look like an actual bird. It's a pretty sick idea, and Eris's pieces are a good like jumping off point to help you build an all-American eagle. So yeah man, there you go, that's Eris. Dude, Chima Ultrabuild sets, they're kinda really cool. Let me know if you want to see more of these sets get reviewed in the future. Their pieces are cool, and they're super helpful for building MOCs. Now be sure to check the links in the description below where you'll find the social media of all the builders that I featured and mentioned today. Go and give them a follow. Thanks so much for watching guys, happy building, and bye for now.